and welcome to FPG Gaming. My name's Andy. Today I'm going to be looking at the game Scrap Mechanic. Now, you've probably seen a few YouTube videos of this already. We've certainly seen a few at our house, mainly by Idealistic Squid and Ashdubs, and it's a cracking game. It really is good. It's in the early stages still. It's still a sort of late beta version, and it's brilliant. It has a creative mode, and they are going to be bringing along a survival game as well. Now, Scrap Mechanic is basically a game for creating stuff at the moment. So you can create all sorts of things. You can create cars, you can create flying vehicles, you can create houses, you can create catapults, you can create pretty much anything you can think of if you know how. So I'm just going to quickly show you how the game works, and I'm going to show you some of the basics and building. Now, I'm quite new to the game myself. I only downloaded a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still not used everything in it, and I'm still getting to grips with a few things. Now, I do apologise, but I don't have the best spec computer, so I've had to turn the graphics options down quite a bit, and it might be a tiny bit laggy, but hopefully it will give you a good idea of what the game can do. Okay, so this is Scrap Mechanic. So I'm just going to go to New Game and go to Creative, and I'm going to give the world a name. I'm just going to call it New World. Really imaginative. And then you get the choice between terrain and flat world, so I'm just going to keep the terrain on at the moment, so I'll get hills and trees and rocks and everything else. And create. Okay, I'm just going to stop the video and then cut back when it's finished loading. Okay, and this is Scrap Mechanics, so it gives you a little welcome screen when you first load a new level. Okay, so if you played other games like Minecraft and things like that, you'll see it's in some ways it's a similar sort of layout. So you've got different options at the bottom. This is your sort of inventory, if you like. You can use the scroll wheel on the mouse to skip through the different items on there, or you can press the number keys on the keyboard that correspond with the different cells on the screen. So when you first start the game, it will give you a mechanics handbook. If I just left click on the floor somewhere, it will tell me lots of different things about the game. So it tells you what controls are, how to zoom in and out, how to jump, how to move, etc., etc. It tells you some simple instructions on how to build a car, what some of the different items are for, things like bearings and the lift and the controller and all sorts of stuff, the connector rather. So I'm not going to go through all those at the moment, because I'm just going to show you some of these in a second. But that's really useful to be able to sort of refer back to that at any point. Okay, so if I press I on my keyboard, I get lots and lots of nice little tools. Some of these are quite mechanical type tools, others are just very cosmetic, so you can actually just build something that looks pretty cool. You've got a few sort of your more mechanically type tools down the side here, and a hammer just for whacking things. You've got a connect tool, which will let you connect steering wheels, to engines, to all sorts of stuff like that. You've got a paint tool, you've got a welding tool to connect different items together, and then your manual at the bottom. So to start off with, we're just going to have a quick look at how to make a really simple car. We have got things like suspension and stuff like that, but I'm just going to keep it really basic for now. So we're going to start off by finding a suitable building block. So when we look through these different building blocks, it gives you a little bit of information on the right hand side of what it is and what weight it is as well. So I'm not going to use anything too light, because cars then have a tendency to go flipping over and go a bit off the rails, so I've got to be a bit careful. So I'm going to use a tile block. Let's pop that down here. So you just click and drag, put your items into place, and you can press escape or I to get back out of that menu. It says, there we go. Okay, I apologise again for slight laggy quality of my computer. So first of all, I'm going to put my lift down, and the lift is the thing you probably use the most in Scrap Mechanic more than anything else really, and this is for building inventions on. You can build them straight on the floor, but it's much easier to do it on a lift, obviously depending on what you're doing, because this will move up and down, and you can put it wherever you want. You can save your inventions through this, and you can look over inventions. So if I press E on my keyboard now, this shows me other inventions that have been made, ones that a few that I've downloaded, a few that I've created myself. I like this pod racer, this flying car. It's quite an early one. That's why it looks so bulky and ugly. And lots of different funky looking vehicles. This is one that a friend's son made, which looks quite nice, but it's got too much weight in the back of it at the moment, and it tends to wheelie quite a lot. So you have to sort of take all this sort of thing into account. And there's quite a few one on here that I've downloaded. Well, my kids really like, well, I do as well, really like videos by Idealistic Squid and Ashdubs, and he plays this game quite a lot, and there's a few of his creations down here that the kids have downloaded. which are really fun. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at how to build something really simple. So I've got my block selected, which is number 3 on the keyboard, or as I said, you can just use the scroll wheel to select something. And I'm just going to click and drag and create a bit of a platform from here. If I press Q on the keyboard, it changes the direction. So if I click and drag now, it'll build up that way. If I press Q on my keyboard again, I can build things that way. And if I press Q again, sorry, press Q again, then I can build things that way. So I'm just going to build this direction. So that's an okay sort of size to start off with. Okay, now I'm just going to press the up arrow on my keyboard and move my lift up a little bit. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start off with the back wheels. Now these are going to be fairly fixed and not used for any kind of steering. So all I need to do with this one is I'm just going to drag 2 blocks down, and then I'm going to use this little orange circle. This is a bearing. So what the bearing does is it lets you move things. So you can have wheels on there, you can make things go up and down, you can make things go round, and you can use some quite fancy tools like a control box to do all sorts of fun things with this. But for now, I'm just going to put that on there, and I'm going to choose a wheel that I already have in my inventory. Now, as standard, you get wheels and then you get big wheels, and this is just the normal wheel. But you can download lots of different mods and things to this game and get all sorts of other bits and bobs as well, which I haven't got any at the moment, so I'm just using the basic games as it comes. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the side. So I'm going to use my bearing, which will make the wheel turn, and pop that on there. My mouse works, there we go, and pop the wheel on there. Okay, so that's our back wheel's done already. Now, the lift's kind of in the way a little bit there because I want to be able to get to that bit. So I'm just going to get rid of the left, and if I press number 9, and now I can pick up my invention before it rolls down the hill, and just place it over there. And now that it's in the middle, it makes it a little bit more accessible to get to the side of the vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to do the front wheels now. Now, the difference is with the front wheels, I'm going to make it so that these can actually be steered from a car seat and the steering wheel. So I'm just going to move that up a tiny bit more. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put a single block on here. Oops. There we go. And on the bottom of that block, I am going to stick an extra bearing. So that basically means that wheels, when I attach them in a bit, will be able to turn left and right. So I'm going to put the bearing there, which means that the block underneath it will be able to turn. And I'm going to stick another bearing on there, like that. And I'm going to stick a wheel on there. Brilliant. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. There we go. So we've got the basic bits of our car now. So we've got 4 wheels, we've got a platform. I'm just going to move the lift down a little bit. I'm going to keep it on for now though. Okay, put it down nice and low. Okay, so the next things we're going to need for our car is a steering wheel and a seat, and we're going to need an engine to actually power the car. Now, there's different types of engines in this game. There's a gas engine, which is quite powerful, can move things quite quickly. There's an electric engine, which is slower but more powerful when going up hills and that sort of thing. So I tend to use the gas engine. You also get things like thrusters and things like that, so you can make things go extra fast, and that's used quite a lot with flying vehicles, but you can use it for ground-based vehicles as well. So I'm going to pop my engine on here, and if you want to, I can press Q and I can rotate the engine and put it in whichever way around that I want it to go. I'll just leave it like that for now. There we go. Now if I press E on my engine, it gives me the option of how much power I want to put into it as well. So I'm going to put it up, I won't put it up to maximum, I'll put it up to about there for now, just see how we get on with that. Okay. And then we're going to need a seat and a steering wheel. So if I just pop this over here, and obviously it's the way around, so I press Q, or I can press Shift and Q to turn it back the other way. And there's my seat. Okay. So we've got all the basics of the car now. Okay, now the next bit is the important bit really. This is the connect tool, and this will let you connect engines to wheels, it will let you connect the engine to the steering wheel, it will let you connect the steering wheel to the steering on the car. Now I've just realised I might have put everything the wrong way around. No, I haven't, that's okay. I couldn't remember which my front end and back end of the car was for a second there. Okay, so I've got the connect tools connected at the moment, so if I click and drag, I can then connect my steering wheel to my bearings here and here, which will let me turn the car. Okay, And I've just realised I haven't got the sound up on this game, so I'm just going to turn the volume up slightly if I can. Okay, and then I'm going to connect my engine up. So all I need to do is click and drag this to 4 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you probably noticed that you've got these little arrows on these connected bits, and at the moment the 2 wheels on this side will be going backwards and the 2 wheels on the other side will be going forwards. So I'm just going to change those so they're all going forwards. Okay, and then I'm going to connect my engine to my steering wheel. Oops, try that again. And that's basically it. So now, if I press E on my car seat, oh, I'm not going to be able to test yet because I didn't take the lift off. Very easily done, forgetting to take the lift off in this game. So I'm just going to move this back here and get rid of my left. So hold down the right mouse button, that will delete that. Okay, let's try that again. Right, so got my basic car. So if I steer left, it goes right. If I steer right, it goes left. So I'll have to sort that out quickly. So all I need to do is go back to my connect tool and just right click on those, turn them that way instead. So it's going to be steering in the right direction. Okay, let's just jump back in our seat. Okay, so I'm using WS, A and D to control the car. So if I press A, yeah, that's right, steering to the left now. And press W to go forward. Now, this is an issue in Scrap Mechanic. You do have to be very careful. Ooh, careful not to fall off the edge of the cliffs, and be careful not to overweight your car because that can happen. I'm just going to jump out of that and save my car before it disappears off down the hill. Oh my goodness. Not going to let me pick my car up from here, is it? Ah, blast. Right, okay. Not to worry. I'll cut back into the game in a second. Hi, welcome back. Sorry about that. Probably when you're playing this game, it's a good idea not to build your first vehicle right next to a big steep ravine that you can fall down. We'll be doing that again. So anyway, let's just try this car again. I'm just going to drive it further away from the ravine at the moment, so I'm going to go back down it again. So I'm just going to reverse out of here. Now, you'll see at the moment it's not very well weighted. When I'm pressing forwards and backwards, it's kind of trying to flip up in the air. If I turn the power down on the engine, that will probably help that a little bit. I could also put some weighted blocks down and do lots of other things to try and sort out that issue, because it's a bit rubbish at the moment. So let me just oh my word, let me just jump off of there a second. Okay, so for the time being, I'm just going to turn the power down a bit on the engine, see how that goes. Let's see how we get on with that one. Okay, let's just try that again. That's a little bit better. It's still trying to lift off the ground a little bit, but and this is why you have different weight blocks and things in Scrap Mechanics. So I probably should have built a car this small out of something heavy like metal blocks, but at least it gives you the idea of how to build something. Okay, so it's working. It's not too bad. As long as I just don't hold down forward all the time, it more or less stays on the ground. But there's things we can do to improve on it. So, but it's for the time being very basic car, and it is kind of working okay. So I could weigh that down with some heavier blocks, and hopefully that will sort that issue out. So I'm just going to go down the hill here where it's a bit safer, so I'm not going to be falling down any big cliffs again. Yeah, it's not bad. There we go. We're over, but that's okay. It's flipped us back. Oh no, back again. That was very dramatic, wasn't it? I'm still going there. I'm still going. So yeah, so that is how to build something very quick, very simple. Not the most stable invention ever, but it gives you a good idea of what sorts of things you can do. So I'm just going to hop off of there for a moment anyway. I'm just going to show you one I made earlier. Again, it's a fairly basic car, and it's quite small and not the most attractive looking thing, but it's quite fun as well. So if I just build this one. This one's got big wheels on it, as you can tell, and it's nice and big, and I've painted it as well, so it's I call this one the Purple Flipster, and I'll tell you why it's called the Purple Flipster in a second. So if I just jump into my seat with my E key, so it's a slightly slow vehicle. I've turned the power down a little bit on the engine on this one as well, but it's not too bad once you get it going. I'm sorry, Cortana's decided to try and kick in for some strange reason. Ignore that. But yeah, it works. So if I just go up here a second. I'm going to try and deliberately flip this car over in a second if I can. Now, for some reason, my steering seems to be a bit haywire on this one today. I don't know why it's done that. That's very odd. This game can be a little bit glitchy at times. I'm just going to check to see what's going on with the wheels. They all seem to be connected up okay, so very odd. It's not done that to me before, so when I press left, oh, there we go. Working again now. So, like I say, the game is slightly glitchy. It's not perfect. If I press the switches on the bottom there, so if I press number 2, that puts my lights on at the front. I'll just spin around and show you that. So I've got some nice little purple lights at the front. I'll show you what switch number 1 does in a second, once I've managed to successfully knock my car over. Go on, get going, up the hill. Yep. Yes, there we go, finally. Right, anyway, what you can do is, no, stay flip. What you can do is, using the magic of bearings and a control box, is you can do something like this. If I press number 1 on my keyboard now, it presses that first switch and ta-da! So now I can drive my car upside down, so I'm just going to press reverse to go forward instead, but I can still steer left and right in the same way as before. And it actually drives quite well upside down, this car, so as long as I don't hit any trees on the way. Right at the bushes, right, here we go. Now we're going down a big steep hill and it'll probably flip over again. But that's not a problem for us because we can just press number 1 and we can do it right again. So there you go. You can obviously make flying vehicles as well. Now, I've not successfully made a brilliant flying vehicle. I've made an okay flying vehicle, but actually getting the weighting right and the controls spot on can be really tricky. Lots of people have managed it. I've not done a brilliant job at the moment, but I'll just show you this slightly rubbishy looking flying car. This is one of my very early inventions, so you'll have to excuse it. It's the best I could do at the time. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in my driver's seat, or cockpit as it might be. This is a flying car, so you can actually drive it as well. Again, it's really slow. Oh, it's not quite as slow as you want. Okay, and I've got a whole series of buttons on this to do the different thrusters. So number 1 will do my bottom thrusters, and let me fly up. Number 2 will do the top thrusters, and put me back down again. Okay, number 3 I think is the back thruster. Normally you'd have some blue flames coming out of these. Oh no, it's the front thruster, sorry. Normally you'd have blue flames coming out of this. Number 4 is the left thruster, number 5 is the forward thruster, I think, and number 6 is the right thruster. Okay, so if I fly up in the air and press number 3, it starts going a bit wobbly and unstable, and it will probably start going upside down, and I won't be able to control it very well. But as I said, this is quite an early build, and it doesn't work brilliantly, but it gives you a bit of an idea what you can do with thrusters. Now, I think the reason the blue flame isn't coming out is because I've turned down lots of different graphics options, so it's minimised some of the animations and things for me, unfortunately. Hopefully at some point I will get a better spec computer and be able to show this to its full extent. And again, I seem to have landed upside down, but that's okay because I can press number 2 and do the top thrusters and right myself again, and I can start driving. Now the other thing you can do as well is if you have got steering car wheels and things on these flying vehicles, where if I press number 1 now, I can actually use the forward and back driving on the wheel slightly to stabilise my car as well, so that can be quite useful. Again, not perfect, but not bad if you just want to do a bit of land hopping. So I'm just going to pop back down again. So there you go. So I will go through some more tutorials at some point how to make some things, different things like this, but that's just an introduction to Scrap Mechanic, and hopefully it's useful. Please like this video, and I will try and do some more Scrap Mechanic videos very soon. I will show you some other things that you can do within the game. Okay, bye!